Hi, everyone. Welcome to English Anytime. Today we'll talk about why practicing English listening every day is very important. Learning a language is a long journey that requires persistence, patience, and practice. Among the various skills needed to master a language, reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Listening is one of the most important. Daily practice in listening to English can transform a learner's abilities and boost overall communication skills. Listening to English every day is not only useful for understanding spoken words, it also helps to absorb the natural flow of language, build vocabulary, and improve pronunciation. In today's global world, having strong English listening skills can open up many opportunities in education, work, and social life. This essay explains why practicing English listening every day is so important, using simple vocabulary and everyday expressions to ensure clarity and ease of understanding. The discussion is divided into several sections. First, the benefits of daily listening practice are explained. Then practical methods to include listening in your daily routine are provided, followed by an exploration of how listening supports overall language development. And finally, strategies for overcoming challenges and building long-term resilience are offered. By the end of this essay, you'll have a clear understanding of how daily listening practice not only improves language skills, but also builds confidence and cultural awareness. Why daily listening matters. Daily listening practice is essential because it allows you to experience English as it is naturally spoken in classrooms or textbooks. Language is often presented in a formal and sometimes outdated manner. However, real-life conversations involve a lot of informal expressions, contractions, and slang. When you listen to native speakers, you are exposed to the actual sound and rhythm of the language. You learn how words are connected, where the natural pauses occur, and how intonation changes the meaning of a sentence. This exposure is invaluable because it trains your ear to understand different accents and speeds of speech, even if you do not understand every single word at first. Daily exposure helps you get used to the sound patterns of English, making it easier to follow conversations over time. Another reason why daily listening is important is that it helps you build a strong vocabulary naturally. When you hear words used in context, you are more likely to remember their meaning and usage instead of memorizing long lists of words. You learn them as they are used in everyday conversation. For example, common greetings like "good morning" or "how are you" are better understood when you hear them repeatedly in different contexts. Over time, your brain starts to associate these phrases with their meanings and uses them correctly in your own speech. Listening every day also improves your pronunciation and speaking skills. When you listen to native speakers, you begin to mimic their intonation and rhythm. This practice helps you learn the correct stress on words and the natural flow of sentences. As your ear becomes more tuned to the language, you'll find that your own speaking becomes clearer and more confident. This improvement is a gradual process, but with daily practice, even small steps can lead to significant gains in fluency. Building vocabulary through listening. A key benefit of daily listening practice is the organic growth of your vocabulary. In many traditional language learning methods, vocabulary is often taught through isolated word lists, which can be hard to remember. When you listen to English every day, you hear new words in context, making them easier to understand and recall later. For instance, if you are listening to a conversation about weather, you might hear words like sunny, rainy, or cloudy in a natural setting. This context helps you learn not just the words, but also how to use them correctly. Over time, these repeated encounters with everyday language allow you to build a strong foundation of words and phrases that you can rely on in conversation. Furthermore, the process of listening to varied sources, such as podcasts, radio shows, and everyday conversations, introduces you to synonyms and different expressions that mean the same thing. This variety enriches your vocabulary and provides you with multiple ways to express your thoughts. Instead of feeling limited by a small set of words, you gradually learn that there are several ways to say the same idea, which makes your speech more flexible and natural, improving pronunciation and listening skills. Another crucial advantage of practicing listening daily is the improvement in pronunciation. When you listen to fluent speakers, you absorb the natural cadence of their speech. This exposure helps you understand how to form sounds correctly and how to use the correct intonation in various situations. By imitating what you hear, you can gradually adjust your pronunciation to sound more like a native speaker. This is particularly important because clear pronunciation is key to being understood by others. Even if you have a good vocabulary, mispronouncing words can lead to misunderstandings. Daily listening practice provides you with a model of accurate pronunciation that you can emulate. Improving your listening skills is equally important. At first, you might find it difficult to catch every word spoken by native speakers, especially if they speak quickly. However, with daily practice, your ability to understand spoken English improves steadily. Your brain becomes better at predicting words based on context, and you start to fill in the gaps even when some words are missed. This skill is particularly useful in real-life conversations where the speaker may not always speak clearly or where background noise may interfere. As your listening skills improve, you will notice that you are able to follow conversations with greater ease, which in turn builds your overall confidence in using English. Cultural exposure through daily listening. Language is deeply connected to culture, and one of the benefits of listening to English every day is the cultural insight it provides. When you listen to native speakers, you are not only hearing the language, but also experiencing the cultural context in which it is used. This includes the humor, idioms, and common expressions that are unique to different English-speaking communities. For example, certain phrases or jokes may have cultural meanings that are not immediately apparent from a textbook. By listening to authentic conversations, you learn about the cultural nuances and social context that shape the language. This cultural awareness makes you a more effective communicator and helps you understand the background of the language, which is essential for using it appropriately in different situations. Cultural exposure also increases your global awareness. Listening to English news, interviews, or podcasts can give you insights into current events, popular culture, and social issues in different parts of the world. This knowledge not only broadens your perspective, but also makes you more informed and engaged with global events. As you gain a better understanding of various cultures, you become more open-minded and better equipped to interact with people from different backgrounds. Practical ways to integrate daily listening. One of the best aspects of daily listening practice is its flexibility. You can integrate listening into your daily routine in many simple ways without having to set aside long periods exclusively for language study. For example, you can listen to English podcasts during your morning commute, while exercising, or even when doing household chores. The key is to make listening a regular habit that fits naturally into your day. Consistency is more important than the duration of each session. Even a few minutes each day can make a big difference over time. Another practical tip is to use language learning apps that focus on listening skills. Many of these apps provide short audio clips with clear, simple language and interactive exercises to test your understanding. These tools are especially useful because they allow you to practice at your own pace and gradually increase the difficulty as your skills improve. Using apps can also make the learning process more engaging and enjoyable. Watching movies, TV shows, or online videos in English is another effective way to practice listening. For beginners, it can be helpful to start with content that includes subtitles so that you can follow along more easily as your listening skills improve. Try watching without subtitles to challenge yourself. Visual cues, such as body language and facial expressions, can also help you understand the context of the conversation. Over time, this type of immersive practice will help you become more comfortable with different accents, speeds of speech, and conversational styles. Reading along while you listen is another method that can reinforce your learning. By following the written text, you can better understand the pronunciation and meaning of words that might be unfamiliar at first. This technique also helps bridge the gap between listening and reading, creating a more integrated language learning experience. Techniques for active listening. Active listening is a key strategy that can enhance the benefits of your daily practice. Instead of passively hearing the words, active listening involves fully engaging with the audio material. One effective method of active listening is shadowing. Shadowing means that you listen to a short audio clip and then immediately repeat what you heard, trying to mimic the speaker's intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation as closely as possible. This exercise forces you to concentrate on the sounds of the language and can greatly improve both your listening and speaking skills. Another active listening technique is to take brief notes or jot down new words and phrases while you listen. By writing down unfamiliar vocabulary, you create a record that you can review later. This not only reinforces your memory, but also encourages you to explore the meanings of new words. After listening, take a few moments to summarize what you have heard in your own words. This practice helps consolidate your understanding and makes it easier to remember the content. Repetitive listening is also a useful technique. If you find a particular audio clip challenging, listen to it several times. The first time, focus on understanding the overall meaning. Subsequent times, pay attention to details such as pronunciation, intonation, and specific vocabulary. Repetition helps your brain to process and retain information more effectively, making it easier to understand similar material in the future. Overcoming common challenges. While the benefits of daily listening are clear, many learners face challenges when starting out. One common difficulty is that native speakers often talk very fast, which can be overwhelming for beginners. It is important to remember that you do not have to understand every word immediately. Focus on the main ideas and context instead of trying to catch every detail. With daily practice, your ability to pick up on keywords and essential information will improve, and the speed of native speech will become less intimidating. Another challenge is the feeling of frustration when you do not understand a conversation fully. This frustration is normal and should be viewed as a part of the learning process. Instead of getting discouraged, use moments of difficulty as opportunities to identify areas that need more practice. Over time, as you continue to expose yourself to the language, you will notice that your comprehension gradually improves. Patience and persistence are essential qualities in language learning. Time management can also be a challenge. Busy schedules may leave little room for dedicated language practice. However, by integrating listening into your daily routine, even for a few minutes at a time, you can overcome this barrier. The key is consistency. Even if you can only spare 5 or 10 minutes on a busy day, that small amount of practice will add up over time and contribute significantly to your overall improvement. Developing a long-term listening habit. Building a long-term habit of daily listening takes time and commitment. One of the most effective strategies is to set clear, achievable goals for your listening practice. For example, you might decide to listen to an English podcast for 10 minutes every morning, or watch a short video during your lunch break. Setting specific goals helps you to track your progress and stay motivated. As you achieve these small goals, your confidence will grow, and you will be encouraged to continue. It is also important to vary your listening materials so that the practice remains interesting. Rotating between podcasts, news segments, TV shows, and music can keep your routine fresh and engaging. When you enjoy the material, you are more likely to stick with your daily practice, even on days when you feel less motivated. Creating a quiet, dedicated space for listening can also help you build a routine. Find a comfortable spot where you can concentrate without interruptions. Turning off other distractions, such as your phone or computer notifications, will allow you to focus fully on the audio. Over time, this dedicated practice time will become a natural part of your daily schedule, and you will start to see the cumulative benefits in your overall language ability. The connection between listening and speaking. There's a strong connection between listening and speaking. As you listen more frequently, you naturally begin to absorb the patterns and rhythms of spoken English. This exposure makes it easier to reproduce the sounds and intonation in your own speech. When you listen to clear, well-spoken English, you internalize the correct pronunciation and stress patterns, which in turn improves your ability to speak fluently. Many learners report that after several weeks of daily listening, they find themselves speaking with greater confidence and clarity. Furthermore, improved listening skills make it easier to engage in conversations. When you are better able to understand what others are saying, you are more likely to respond appropriately. This active engagement in conversations reinforces your learning and helps you to practice the language in a real-life context. As you're listening and speaking skills continue to improve together, you will find that your overall fluency increases significantly. The role of feedback in listening practice. Feedback is an important element of effective learning. When you engage in daily listening practice, it is useful to periodically assess your progress. One way to get feedback is by discussing what you have listened to with friends, teachers, or language partners. They can help clarify any misunderstandings and offer suggestions for improvement. Additionally, many language learning apps provide immediate feedback on your performance, allowing you to see where you need to focus more attention. Self-assessment is also a valuable tool. After a listening session, try to summarize what you have heard and compare it to the original content. This exercise helps you to identify areas that are clear to you and parts that may need further review. Over time, these small adjustments will lead to better comprehension and more accurate pronunciation. Personal stories and real-life examples. Real-life examples can be very inspiring when it comes to language learning. Many learners have found that daily listening practice has transformed their abilities. For instance, one student started by listening to short news segments each morning. At first, the student understood only a few words, but with persistence, gradually began to grasp more of the conversation. Over several months, the student's listening skills improved to the point where watching an English movie without subtitles became possible. Another learner reported that listening to music and repeating the lyrics helped in understanding the natural flow of language. These success stories remind us that every little bit of practice contributes to long-term progress. Personal experiences also highlight the importance of building a habit. When learners set aside time each day for listening, they often notice improvements, not only in language skills, but also in overall confidence. The process of hearing a language used naturally day after day builds a foundation that supports all other aspects of language learning. The sense of achievement that comes from understanding a conversation or following the plot of a TV show in English can be incredibly motivating and encourages further practice. Maintaining motivation through daily practice. Staying motivated is one of the keys to long-term success in language learning. Daily listening practice, when integrated into your routine, can become a source of enjoyment and personal satisfaction. To keep motivation high, it helps to choose content that interests you, whether it's a favorite podcast, a popular TV series, or even music. Selecting materials that you enjoy makes the practice feel less like a chore and more like a leisure activity. Additionally, tracking your progress can provide a visual reminder of how far you have come, which is very encouraging. Sometimes, setting small, realistic goals for your listening practice can also keep you motivated. For example, aim to understand a short conversation without needing to replay it several times. When you reach such milestones, take a moment to celebrate your achievement. Over time, these celebrations, no matter how small, add up and reinforce a habit of daily practice. The long-term impact of daily listening. The cumulative effect of daily listening practice is profound over weeks and months. Even short periods of focused listening can lead to significant improvements in language, comprehension, and overall fluency. This improvement is not always immediately noticeable, but over time, the benefits become clear. The more you listen, the more natural the language becomes to you, and the easier it is to participate in conversations and understand various accents and speaking styles. In many cases, learners find that the regular practice of listening creates a positive feedback loop. As their listening improves, they feel more confident speaking, and as they speak more, their listening skills further improve. Conclusion. In conclusion, daily English listening practice is an essential part of mastering a language. It builds a strong foundation for vocabulary, pronunciation, and overall comprehension, while also providing cultural insights and boosting confidence. By integrating listening into your everyday routine, whether through podcasts, videos, music, or conversations, you create a habit that leads to gradual but lasting improvement. The benefits of daily listening are many. Improved language skills, greater fluency, increased confidence in conversation, and a deeper understanding of cultural nuances. While the journey may seem challenging at times, each minute of dedicated listening practice contributes to a stronger grasp of English and opens up new opportunities for communication and personal growth. Every learner's journey is unique, but the common thread is that daily listening practice works. It helps you internalize the natural rhythm of the language, builds your vocabulary and context, improves your pronunciation, and gives you the confidence needed to speak fluently. Whether you are a student, a professional, or simply a language enthusiast, dedicating a few minutes each day to listening in English can make a significant difference over time. By setting clear goals, using a variety of listening resources, and remaining consistent in your practice, you can overcome challenges and steadily progress toward fluency. Embrace the process, celebrate your improvements, and remember that every moment spent listening is an investment in your future. With time, patience, and persistence, daily English listening practice will not only enhance your language skills, but also enrich your life in countless ways.